Here's how to holistically heal from chronic fatigue syndrome. The first glands that I like to look at when I'm dealing with a CFS client is the adrenal glands, hands down. This is your autonomic nervous system. This is literally your energy. I have yet to work on a chronic fatigue syndrome case where the adrenals were not involved. It's actually one of the first places I will look at when doing an iridology analysis on one of my clients. This is the iris photo of one of my clients. This is Iridology. If you're not familiar with it, I definitely have other resources for it on my profile. But these are the adrenals and the kidneys, which are obviously affected with chronic fatigue syndrome. But you're also seeing a bunch of brain lesions, which is also very common. Pituitary, you'll see hypothalamus gland, all of these brain lesions going up into the head. Those are definitely usually very present when dealing with CFS. Your hypothalamus is a brain structure that is the main link between your endocrine system and your nervous system. Again, always involved when we're talking about chronic fatigue syndrome. Other causes of chronic fatigue syndrome are pineal glands weakness, the thyroid weakness, reproductive system weaknesses, which are going to vary from male to female, obviously, liver toxicity, poor circulation, as well as general weakness of the digestive tract. Oftentimes in an iris photo, I will see a lot of sulfur in the digestive tract, sometimes even leaking out into other areas of the body. I'll give you an example of that right now. So as you can see, this case has a pituitary compromise, which affects the entire body. If you know me, you know I'm always talking about the pituitary gland and how that is the master gland. But you're also, in addition to that, seeing a parathyroid and thyroid compromise. You're seeing all that really deep orange sulfur residue within the GI tract. So this is someone that has been on a lot of antibiotics, a lot of medications throughout their body, which is affecting their gut health, which then affects pretty much everything else. You're even seeing some of it bleed out into the liver and gallbladder. So you're seeing this is really taking a toll on my client's body. In chronic fatigue syndrome, I'm always focused on cleaning up the GI tract. That's one of the main components, in addition to circulation and, of course, regenerating the adrenal glands, the hypothalamus, etc. The GI tract is something that cannot be skipped, and you will see with time that this iris, it will lighten up. This orange will not be orange come a year, 2 years from now, given if my client actually puts in the work necessary and does deep enough levels of detoxification. According to the Bible, as well as many religious texts around the world, the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Herbs to consider for chronic fatigue syndrome are, for the adrenals, I would say juniper berry, as well as chaste tree berry. Those are two really good ones for the adrenals. For the hypothalamus, I would say gotu kola, one of my favorite herbs. Ashwagandha and red or American ginseng would also be good. And then based off of other weaknesses that you have going on in your body, I can recommend other formulas. We definitely want to address all of the weaknesses and all of the compromises, right? Because this is holistic healing, so we're dealing with the body as a whole. Two people can have the same diagnosis but still be dealing with different compromises, so it is important to tackle the ones that you are going through, which obviously can be done via an iridology analysis. Some other great detox tools for CFS are to make sure that you're getting a minimum of 7 hours, preferably 8 or 9 hours of sleep every night. There are herbs that can help with that, especially things like valerian. You want to be having a minimum of 3 bowel movements per day, a minimum. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. There are herbs that can help with that as well. And also grounding, putting your bare feet in some soil or some sand. It's a great way to connect with the earth, and it's something that I highly recommend for CFS. In some really tough cases, I will actually recommend ear candling for some of my clients to drain some lymph from the head region. Because we are taking a holistic approach and we're not just trying to treat your symptoms, all of what I've just mentioned would be combined with a diet rich in fruits and clean, organic, raw foods. For CFS, I would definitely put an emphasis on unpasteurized, cold-pressed raw citrus juices. These are really good head and sinus drainers. These guys can definitely help to cleanse anything that is causing obstruction to the hypothalamus, the pineal, the pituitary, all of which are vital to pay attention to in the reversal and the healing of CFS. So in conclusion, the main goal of using regenerative detoxification to actually heal and reverse chronic fatigue syndrome, as opposed to just treating symptoms, is the removal of stagnant acid and waste and toxicity from the body, from the various tissues, and doing this with consistency, also while regenerating the glands simultaneously, which the herbal botanicals will definitely help with. Chronic fatigue syndrome took years to manifest. Whether you felt it for all the years or not, it did not happen overnight. So obviously it's not going to take 1 month or a 2-week juice fast to get rid of this. It is a process, but it absolutely can be done. I've seen it with my own eyes. If you have chronic fatigue syndrome or another diagnosis and you're interested in getting to the root cause, you can hit the link in my bio, click on Work with Eric, or check out some of my video testimonials. I would be happy to lead you back to health. Remember that physical freedom is your birthright.